Major development in the ongoing Epstein scandal. NPR reporting the DOJ, quote, withheld and removed some Epstein files related to Trump, allegedly hiding those docs, which, depending on the details we get, could be against the law. The missing files include over 50 pages of FBI interviews, notes from conversations.
What? The DOJ withheld Epstein files about Donald Trump? Hold on. I've been practicing my surprise face. You guys ready? What?
A very rare and stunning rebuke of the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, by members of the president's own party. Yes, 5 Republicans on the key House Oversight Committee defying their chairman and joining with Democrats to subpoena Bondi over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case.
That's right. They subpoenaed Pam Bondi. Maybe she'll throw another one of her tantrums, like a passenger getting kicked off a plane for being too drunk before takeoff. Remember, this is how she reacted last time she had to testify before Congress.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein, President Trump, the greatest president in American history. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
Tonight, the stock market plunging, the Dow plunging more than 1,200 points today, the NASDAQ dropping 232 points, the S&P 500 down 2.
Why are you talking about the stock market?
Speaker, I rise today to chat about what I've been doing at the Department of Justice. Many members have been going to the Department of Justice to view the Epstein files unredacted. Americans are tired of the corruption. They're tired of a tiered justice system where, depending on how big your bank account is and how connected you are, will have a direct outcome or will directly impact the outcome of your case. Here, I wanted today to come to the floor to share some of the files that people online have asked me to look into. The first one was this file that talked about a torture video. This right here is an email. The email belongs to Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. Down here, they're arranging for a Bitcoin to be sent to a wallet address. I'm actually going to read that address out loud. Had to do with the Federal Bureau of Investigation CHS reporting document. This is still redacted. Even when I went into the DOJ and clicked the button to unredact it, it was still redacted. I was told they received it this way. A diary of drawings and collages. Something that could definitely give us some more information that could be useful. This is also still redacted. There are many pages from the diary all redacted. Of course, we need to keep the victims' names from being made public, but Congress has a right to investigate this important information.
Overnight, new documents released, including allegations against President Trump. Jay O'Brien has that story. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning to you, George. Overnight, under pressure from lawmakers who said it failed to release all Epstein-related files, the Department of Justice quietly posted 3 previously withheld FBI interview reports from 2019. Those reports contain uncorroborated allegations made against President Trump. Those files were initially missing from the more than 3 million pages of Epstein records released by the DOJ in January and were flagged by Democratic lawmakers who accused the department of holding them back to protect the president. The DOJ says they were mistakenly coded as duplicates. That's why they weren't released. According to these newly released reports, the FBI interviewed a woman about Jeffrey Epstein 4 times back in 2019. In a follow-up FBI interview, the woman did not provide additional details about the alleged interactions with Trump when she was asked by investigators. Last month, the Justice Department said that some of the documents released in the Epstein files, quote, contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. But the DOJ is is still facing questions about why these and other documents were withheld in the first place.
I'm certainly interested in getting a briefing from the Attorney General.
A rare show of bipartisanship on Capitol Hill as lawmakers push for more transparency in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein.
It's about transparency. It has nothing to do with being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about going after predators.
The House Oversight Committee voting to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Yesterday, Attorney General Pam Bondi was subpoenaed. The Epstein files, as you know, have made global headlines recently, from Prince Andrew's arrest to closed-door depositions.
It starts in December 2013 when Nili Barak, wife of former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, emailed Epstein. Quote, Ehud has a lecture in Tampa. We thought to arrive on the 22nd and enjoy your company and go to Tampa on the 26th morning. According to this article in the Jewish Press of Tampa Bay, Barak was scheduled to be the featured speaker at the Jewish Community Center's annual President's Day dinner. Records show the former prime minister and his wife spent days at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. An FBI memo to Tampa agents announced they'd travel to Florida to interview roughly 25 victims. Most were in South Florida, but one was in Palm Harbor within the Tampa field office's area.
According to victims attorney Spencer Kuban, these 2019 notes from the Epstein files were probably taken by an FBI investigator looking into Jeffrey Epstein's past, hoping to bring charges.
I was really kind of flabbergasted. When I saw what you found dating back to 2001, I was astounded at the fact that the police didn't even put two and two together back then.
Palm Beach police did investigate. Here's the 2001 police report showing they conducted surveillance, interviewed 3 girls working for Epstein, even dug through Epstein's trash, still concluding there wasn't enough evidence for an arrest. But this later interview in 2019 reveals either the students didn't tell everything at first or the investigation didn't go far enough. Mom called the university and said something was wrong. School said no, it's fine. According to the police report, 3 PBAU students working at the house told detectives Epstein and Maxwell were weird, but said nothing illegal happened, so the case was filed away.
But what shocked me about this was all of this predated the original investigation and charges.
Simone, we have already seen an initial interview with this same alleged victim and accuser of both Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in the files. 3 additional Form 302s reflecting 3 additional interviews of this same woman, culminating in an October 2019 interview where, as Alicia just said, she tells the FBI that she is aware that because of when she alleges her abuse occurred, and specifically because it was in the 1980s and we're now talking to her in 2019, she tells the agents that she's aware the statutes of limitation of any viable federal violation may have run. She asks the agents, what's the point? Knew that this woman had allegations about Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, who she says she met when she was a teenager, and that both of them sexually abused her. What we didn't know is how it ended. And now we're seeing that the way that it likely ended is that the woman refused to cooperate with federal law enforcement authorities. She said that she understood that Trump was the president. She had contact with him when she was a minor, and when she was asked if she was comfortable detailing it, she just again reiterated, what would be the point of providing this information at this point in my life?
if you remember those days, the dial-up days, you are in the right age bracket. Just kidding. Definitely a Gen Xer. It's so weird being a kid and nobody had internet or computers. Went outside and played. And then like in junior high and high school, getting introduced to the internet. And then now it's like, you feel anxious if you leave the house without your phone, your device. Pretty crazy how technology's become so critical, so important to us. Welcome everyone to the Gabriel Speaks Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Glad you have decided to join us. We'll be joined by Flak Magnet this evening to be discussing the Epstein files, and in particular, the Jerky references in the Epstein files. Want to say, first and foremost, I feel like there's a few different ways people deal with things, and one of them is definitely comedy. So while we do have strong opinions during this episode, this is strictly for entertainment only, and this is based on information that's out there, and it is easier for us to laugh at these things sometimes than to cry. Just keeping it real. And what we're talking about today, I'm sure you all have probably heard it if you've tuned in at all, is this stuff. What is going on with this stuff? Jerky. Is Jerky just jerky? Is Jerky a reference to something else, code for something else? Or is it somewhere in between? Is it maybe some inside joke these folks are like making a reference to? If you go to and again, I can't say enough good things about this site, but you go to this Gmail site and you search Jerky, you're going to get 347 emails that come up. And if you just read them, I mean, nothing seems too crazy until you start getting into when they talk about handling and packaging. Listen, could one make jerky out of some top shelf meat and prefer to freeze it in transportation as opposed to adding preservatives and things like that? Absolutely. It's absolutely a thing. Do rich people go on weird diets? Yeah. There's a diet out there you can name. There's so many diets. It's keto, protein diet, all protein, carb free. There's like juice. I only eat what I can drink. There's all kinds of diets out there. I'm sure that there's an all-protein diet that would demand maybe a higher level of protein than you're typically used to because that's all you can eat. So it's very, very possible that there's nothing nefarious at all about these emails. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about what was in there and talk about what they might have meant. Like, for starters, this is weird. Hope you are feeding better Did we analyze the jerky? All right, well, hold on. So I just gave an explanation for why you might freeze jerky. I don't know that I have one for analyzing jerky, unless you all know of one. Like analyzing it for what? Like health value? Taste? So I hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? And then he's mad. We talked about this at the ranch. Why isn't it done? In response to IEU prior, for real, my dig got into my bag when I returned, plus ate the jerky. Francis is off, feeling now how making is the better. What? Another island, thanks. 6 ounce. Actually, which is did what 1/2 bay mile need today. So run. I can which send I'll take it for. It's weird how there's all these emails in here. And it's from like either the grammar is super bad, like they're fingering it or something, or they just don't care. Or it's like encrypted, and that's the only way we could get it to come out. I don't know. But if we use kind of just what we know, for real, it sounds like what he's saying is my dog got into my bag when I returned and ate the jerky. Francis is off. Feeling now. Maybe feeling ill. How making is better. How making is the better. How making it is better. Okay, that's weird. Another island of thanks. 6 ounce. So then he responds, like, I don't understand what you're saying. Do you mean you prepared only 3 ounces per day? Steve needs 6 to 8 ounces portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, roughly 2 pounds. And it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. Oh, somebody is a jerky hog. I felt it was more important for you to have the jerky to eat during my time off. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for Little St. John, and some of that will then go to stove and the rest to you at Little St. James. I always call it Little St. John. Yeah. When I arrive. I'm sorry, it's terrible. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for Little St. James, and some of that will then go into the stove. So when you put jerky in the stove, and the rest to you at Little St. So he's going to throw some of it in the stove. Okay, so I guess if you're talking like legitimate, if this really is just jerky, I guess he could be saying he's going to cook some of it, like put it in the stove, and then set the rest aside for jerky making purposes. And this is between Steve Hansen, Jeffrey Epstein, Francis Derby. What's interesting is this chef that, well, unless you've been living with your head in a rock, you probably know that there was a restaurant called The Cannibal. And this chef was a premier chef there, some kind of place I could never afford, right? Super nice, fancy joint. I mean, of course, you can only call a fancy place The Cannibal, and people actually want to eat there. Unless you're not speaking English, I guess. Which I believe is what they say. It's named out. They say it's named after a biker or something silly like that. But you know, we're in America. I speak American, so it's called the cannibal. That's what I think. So this has been verified. Multiple sources. Francis Derby, who wanted to touch base about Jerky in the Epstein files, was the executive chef of a very small and exclusive restaurant. There's that word. Exclusive restaurant called The Cannibal. Does that mean anything? No. Because he worked at a probably super pretentious restaurant called The Cannibal. Does that mean he actually is a cannibal? That's not what that means. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, I will also be avoiding that restaurant at all costs. Any costs. Yes. I don't want anything to do with it. So you read this and then you go through just the multitude of emails. And like, I mean a lot of emails. I'm gonna add this video to the stage here because this is crazy, y'all. Like this is just one small snippet. We just looked on the JMO. There's 347 email lines referenced as Jerky. And this is just a few that seem weird. How is your Jerky situation? Should I bring any more? To me, it's just like I've never seen people care more about Jerky. Even if you want the premium shit, it's just weird. Should be making more Jerky, ? I heard you are not fond of the batch of Jerky from Steve. There is some left from Francis in the freezer at 71st. Can I organize to have it FedEx down? Is going to attempt to make Francis. I am liaisoning with about raw ingredients and the original recipe. The reason that one was added is because at first I thought, well, maybe they're talking about drugs. Get see rich people thinking they're clever. We'll just call it Coke. Jerky. I was like, oh, okay. The chef's got a little hustle on the side. Probably a big hustle if Jeffrey Epstein's a client. And these cats are just talking about drugs, exchanging drugs back and forth. Well, I've never heard of someone asking their drug dealer for a recipe unless I'm missing something. I don't know why you would call your drug dealer and be like, hey, how do I make that? Whatever. Well, that's kind of strange. Just going to cook up, you're just Walter White, just going to cook up your own drug, your own blue stuff. So that's why I included that one, because that one really kind of got me away from thinking it was drugs, was that particular email. And you can see how I might have thought it was drugs. Like, what's your Jerky situation like? Should I bring any? Who fucking says that about Jerky? That's crazy. Never in my life. Okay, hi. There's one bag of beef jerky in the fridge at 71st. Please get it. And also, SI has more at her place. Please get it from her as well and bring it all with you. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag, right? It's kind of weird. Jerky needs to be in a cold... Just the level of concern here about this jerky. I mean, this is jerky wrapped in gold. They are very, very concerned about jerky. More than I would have. I mean, never in my life. Jeff, and meaning to ask, how did you like that beef jerky? I will come to teach a jerky class. And we can also cover chocolate cream pie if you can agree to pay me through this pay period. So I would then receive my last full paycheck on the 29th of this month. Wow. So Francis will teach a jerky making class if he gets paid. That's weird. Like, that is, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. You're not crazy for looking at that and going, well, okay, that shit's weird. It doesn't have to be the worst case scenario, which we are going to talk about too. It doesn't have to be the worst case scenario, but it certainly could be. It certainly could be. And the reason I say it certainly could be with such conviction is because we know, like, these people don't care about hurting children. So you think they care about hurting people? Anyone? The weird thing, and this is a little weird, y'all, okay? You might this is where you might be like, "Oh, all right, Gabe's lost it." If you look at the timing of the emails and the communication about jerky, especially the transportation of jerky, like we're seeing right here, the storing of jerky in freezers, things of this nature, oftentimes they correlate. And remember, correlation doesn't mean causation, but I do want to call out there is a correlation between that and when he was having these large get-togethers with scientists. In particular, scientists that study things that aren't exactly mainstream, and they're more on the edge of like life extension. And there's a lot of weird connections. So you've got Harvard, MIT, Santa Fe Institute, and then I put together a list of just a few, and we've gone over all kinds of scientists, but Marvin Minsky, George Church, Stephen Hawking. We had a whole episode going over these scientists. And the jerky planning oftentimes comes around when those events are happening. So if that's the case, that could mean two things. It could mean probably the less crazy thing that, that, well, he's planning for these events. They got to have more food. Or it can mean the crazier thing that some of these scientists believe that there's power in some of these occult rituals that include symbolic and literal cannibalism. It's a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Flak Magnet in the house.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Dude, I was trapped under them tunnels, man. They had me in there. I was spooning my way out.
I know. You take your investigation work seriously.
Oh, hell yeah. With an actual spoon, no kind of euphemism there. I know we usually get into double meanings and other whatnots. But yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm glad I popped in at this exact moment.
Yes.
Because if, all right, so I must have gone through, what is it, like 350 that mentioned beef jerky?
Pretty much. 347. You got it.
So
I'm just being an exact asshole. Yes, 350.
Well, yeah, no, I'm asking for an exact number only because I was on there. I went through about 300 of these things, and you know what I figured out? At the very least, Jeffrey Epstein's a prick about his beef jerky.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you figured that one out, but he's an asshole. I don't like this guy.
He doesn't fuck around. Yeah, we showed one earlier. Like, he doesn't fuck around. He's like, listen, you were supposed to get this fucking done already. Fucking around with my beef jerky.
Where is my beef? You know that I have a specific beef jerky allowance for myself.
Where's my jerky?
And they keep saying his diet, right? Like his diet, this, his diet, that.
And I was saying
fucking
to the
diet
folks,
is 90% beef jerky. This guy's out of his fucking mind.
Well, I was saying to the folks, like, okay, because I'm trying to balance, I'm trying to cover what could be the most logical explanation and then also the most out there fucking explanation. And so I think if you're going for, there's nothing weird about this, it's totally logical, then what you're going to say about that is rich people go on weird diets. This jerky was expensive. Look at who he was getting it from. This wasn't like your average jerky. That's why they were freezing it, because this shit probably costs like regular jerky's expensive. This shit probably costs like $100 an ounce or some shit.
This ain't your Jack's Links. This is VIP Jack's Links. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about beef jerky. I'm not.
Well, there's some
Slim
premium
Jim,
shit.
Apparently, Slim Jim doesn't count. Doesn't count.
No.
I've been lied to by Macho Man Randy Savage. This whole time.
$100+ steaks out there. I promise that they will turn into jerky. There's steaks you can get that they age for 100 days at room temperature. Like, there's just all kinds of weird premium shit that these folks will eat.
You got to look at it.
So
you got to look at it. You got to watch it. You stare at it. That's that part of the process, is paying somebody to be bored enough to watch the meat the whole time.
But here's
where
the
the magic comes from.
You can only blink twice an hour.
Oh yeah, that's where the money comes in, dude. Because of the salt.
That's where it gets most of its tenderization from tears coming out of your eyes because you can't blink.
Yep. And the surprising thing is the skin looks beautiful, but the eyes wrinkle like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, buddy. Who are you tonight? I always love your logos that you're using. Is this Wolverine?
This is the Wolverine, but Todd McFarlane, Wolverine. This is when he did his stint for doing X-Men.
Yes, I'll take any Wolverine.
80s and 90s. This is the gory Wolverine. This is the Wolverine that dies.
Sure,
that gets the adamantium pulled out of his body by the Magnetus.
It's a rough one.
Yep. Cool stuff, man.
Old adamantium. But then you find out in Logan it was going to kill him either way. He was fucked once they put that stuff in him.
He was fucked, dude. He was fucked. He knew it. He knew it a little bit,
Plus, can we be real? Who wants to live forever except for these bastards we're talking about tonight?
Yeah, if you're Jeffrey Dongle Epstein, you'll do that. You'll do that.
Yeah. Okay,
for sure.
so these emails, we're jumping back into these emails, ladies and gentlemen. Flak Magnet again. So glad you're here to get your expertise. But yes, so before we look at the next ones, it is definitely what I've established. I I got to give my AI credit, right? Because I was looking for connections.
Have you covered the sponsor for this evening? Because this fits in perfect.
Which is this, the Crayola crowns, or which one?
No. This is our Craigslist sponsor. This is where you found me.
Oh.
You found me on Craigslist, and it said, "Can you read in the description of expert for the show?" And I clicked yes, and I didn't lie. I promise. I do not have an AI reading these emails for me. But here I am, folks, and thank you, Craigslist, for sponsoring the show.
That's right. We appreciate it, Craigslist. Just stay off those back pages, folks.
Well, avoid the murderers. There's a lot of murdering going on Craigslist, so please don't use Craigslist. It's a sponsor, but don't use it. It's dangerous. A lot of knife wounds.
Hey, you know what? That is one good thing we can say about Facebook now, is that with that generation of people using Facebook, I do feel comfortable using the Facebook Marketplace app.
Less shivings, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Less slightly less, but still some. Once in a while, you'll get a shiv.
If you're just use your common sense, folks. Use your
best judgment. Okay, back to the
discrepancy.
I'm sorry for barging in there with the sponsor, but here we are.
Well, I know we have so many we have to get in an hour, so I get it. You're just doing the work. Okay, so yes, back to the emails, and I was saying I did find, as far as correlations, and again, correlation doesn't mean causation, but correlations between when you would have these scientific events for several days and an uptick in the jerky supply and demand emails. So that was a pattern, one of several that I found, probably one I thought was most interesting, because, okay, either that means that he just needed to order more food because people were coming, or they're doing some really weird cult, scientific, magic, spiritual shit.
Oh, you want to hear a good bit of detective work I've done?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, so I have in my notes, my trusty handy dandy notebook here, underlined, circled. There's many notations here. Epstein was a prick. I have that written down because he was a bit of a prick. But I noticed in like 2013, he decided to have this. What is it? Francis Derby, whatever the chef's name is, who gave him the recipe that he liked. He eventually had him teach it to all of his little assistant ladies, and they started making the shit for him after that. It wasn't as good, though, because he'd still complain about it and email this guy and be like, "Where's my jerky supply?" Whatever you want to take from that, but I think that's a bit of plausible deniability, so we can get his more extravagant meats jerky, if you know what I mean. If you are saying words and stuff, I cannot hear any of them.
You know, I always forget to hit that unmute because I don't want to breathe into the mic when you're talking. But then I forget to hit the unmute. Or I hit mute and then I forget to hit the unmute. But I was saying, just looking here, you can see you search for jerky and there's our 347 emails there. And granted, that doesn't mean there's 347 emails. A lot of them are duplicates, replies, forwarded messages, things of that nature. But even if you cut that into a third, it's weird.
The forwarding is weird. Do you see, like, did you see the guy whose dog ate his jerky? And then he had to explain that to Jeffrey?
Yeah. Yep, we were just going over that one. Yes,
it was
pretty
funny
about that.
Dude, I laughed a good bit because Jeffrey did not buy that excuse one bit. He's like, we fucking talked about this.
You ate the fucking jerky, motherfucker.
we talked about this shit. And
that's why I thought it was drugs.
He's like, look, my dog did all my cocaine. The cocaine is gone. The dog is in Minnesota. I gotta catch him.
Thankfully,
he's been running. He's been running.
Joined a track team.
Yeah, he's saved several children from wells. which I know is against what me and you do, Jeffrey. So I apologize again for actually helping children.
On top of that,
on top of that, we inadvertently saved a bus filled with children. So we'll have to sacrifice several chickens to Moloch now. Apologies, Jeffrey. And then he's like, listen, get it fucking sorted. You will sort out the jerky business on your own now, which I don't even know what that means because he fucked up by trying to make it. He did some new fancy recipe. He got a little fancy in the kitchen. Got a little too heavy on the Salt Bay YouTube videos. I think that's the timing. Put a little too much elbow salt in it.
A little too much. Okay, so this one, we have shipped food in the past. Oh, this is why I picked this one out, because they get into customs. We have shipped food in the past, but I don't remember if we had to put anything for customs. I shipped jerky to Paris before, no problem. Have you ever shipped? That's in response to, have you ever shipped food? Do you know as to come through customs? We assume we can't write food. We assume we can't write food on the package.
All right, so France is a bit funny, right? Like France is crazy. You can't.
There's more cannibal restaurants.
Well, maybe that, but it just their normal shit, like the cheese and the meats. They got like fucking maggots and things crawling around in there. All the
who the
probiotics.
Fuck's eating that shit?
The French and French people who come over here. I know that for a fact. I knew a couple of French chefs who told me about these wacky fucking cheeses. You wouldn't believe some of these cheeses.
Trace has got us a new sponsor.
Woo! What is it? What is it, Trace?
HelloFresh. HelloFresh is our new sponsor.
Woo! All right, fucking cool, dude. I've been making these sponsors up this whole time. Hopefully, we get some sort of pay. You know, one day
it'll probably be more like the opposite of that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the lawsuits. Allegedly, folks. Allegedly. We're allegedly sponsored by Craigslist today. Allegedly.
No, actually, there's a guy that posted on there that paid me 25 cents. So we are sponsored.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Well, that's your money, dude. I still got to work this off. I still owe you $30.
Oh, man.
All these issues. You know, it's my bad luck.
Okay, lingering. So what were you going to say about this one is that customs, what did you want to call it on this one?
Oh, yeah. So I could see why it would be easier getting shit into France food-wise because they got some crazy shit. Beef jerky is like tame for them, you know?
Yeah. And then anything else on that one you thought was weird?
No. I just thought I understood the French thing. That's all.
Yeah. I can't tell if they're trying to avoid customs. I guess it doesn't really say there. I won't speculate.
I think they would if they could. You know, like
that's like the vibe I get from it. Like we're thinking we can't write food on the package.
And it's not like they can't get it in because they could probably like skirt something or bribe somebody. But it's like I don't feel like filling out the extra paperwork. Like, is there any other way we could do this? These girls
want a record of it.
Fucking so lazy, dude. Like,
or that too.
It's just so funny. It's so funny.
It's true. Let's see. Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Is that 3 or 4 exclamation points?
Yeah, that's because Francis fucked up and got sick for a week and didn't email nobody. Right. So so Jeffrey's like, hey man, I ate
a week.
I went through my whole jerky supply, bro. What the fuck is good? And he's like, oh, listen, I had dysentery. What the problem was, I went to Vietnam for the weekend, and I got a bit of I don't want to say the Mexican version, Montezuma's Revenge, because it's not that. It would be some beautiful Vietnamese version of that.
I think it's but called Higato Suzuki.
Yep. Suzuki's fucking muffler issues because it was on the back end. But yeah, he was sick, missed work. Didn't tell nobody until he was like, hey, man, yesterday started up with the beef jerky again. Full supply is almost ready. And Jeffrey just ignored it. I think he was pissed. But
another reason my mind goes to drugs.
Well, this is the thing, right? Right after that is now he's teaching these girls how to make all the beef jerky. So I think he lost himself a bit of a job there. You know, okay. What I would see that as is...
So he FAFO'd.
Yeah, instead of 3 shots, you got 2, right? This first shot that you fucked up, now you're teaching everyone how to do your job. So they can replace you if you fuck it up again. Like, that's what that seems like. And that's why I tell everybody, like, wise up. Don't be so smart with this AI shit. It's only learning how to do your job, which is think like a human being. So,
oh my God, look at
just
this. Tracy has sent in a gift and says, panic when Pizza Hut has jerky on the menu.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good trip to Pizza Hut for sure.
Tisk. Tisk.
Tracy, thank you so much. We appreciate your support for sure.
Tracy, you're awesome.
Yeah, so cool. Okay, so this next one says, so we have the multiple exclamation points. Jerky class, anyone. I guess that's a joke. He will also bring you a taste of his new jerky recipe from the restaurant and sends a warm hello. He is working at a restaurant called Cannibal and cooks. Wait for it. Beef, jerky, and steak. Another exclamation point. He has time at 3 p.m. tomorrow, if this is okay with you.
All right. So I think it was like 2010 maybe. I went to
oh my God,
a cool bar, and it had like beef jerky on the bar, right? And it was like their beef jerky. Okay. And it was like the cool thing, right? But that was like a shitty bar.
Right.
I think it was like the S end of Brooklyn, maybe in like Williamsburg somewhere.
Yeah.
But like these are like rich fancy fucks that like go have a $300 brunch in LA, like fucking beef jerky. It doesn't make any sense. And as someone who cooks, and has been paid to cook things, not people or what it seems they're alluding to maybe in some of these. But like lemongrass, does that really have that much of a fucking taste? Because I didn't think it had that much of a taste.
Lemongrass?
Because that keeps getting mentioned in these emails too. Is lemongrass? Like
and cream cheese.
You missed the lemongrass in the last batch. It was too many soy sauce varieties and not enough lemongrass. What the fuck? What is that about?
What is going on, Flak?
I don't understand these food references. Like walnut sauce. Walnut sauce is a paste, I would think. You'd say walnut. Can you pass me the walnut paste?
Walnut sauce?
And it wouldn't flavor something. Yeah, that's Obama's favorite thing in the world. That's a throwback to certain other grouping of emails.
Insane. Yes. So, all right. So if those ones aren't weird enough, we have even more treats on tap here. Okay, so I think this is yes, we did it the old way, talking about making jerk. Or I'm going to start yes, we did it the old way. How do I get this batch shipped today? Sent from Steve Hansen's BlackBerry. And then I also love the like the little sign off thing where they're like, this is prohibited and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, until they get a warrant. Hi, I'll send you the jerky overnight once I can get the island's address. This is from Rachel Bova. But I've attached the recipe here for Jeff. Rachel Bova, exclusive assistant to Stephen Hansen, president. But then, of course, we can't see the attachment or what was in the attachment. So again, that if it's drugs, it makes me think, who the fuck talks about drugs like that? It's just weird, even if you're using some kind of code.
It's weird. It's weird. We can say that now.
I've heard codes. Okay.
Yep.
I'm old
codes
enough.
usually also kind of have to make sense too, though. You know what I mean? Like codes usually start out with logic, but like,
right.
Hey, this code has to lead somewhere.
It's so sad. It says he just thought of
silly
Pizza
codes.
the Hut from Spaceballs.
Oh God. Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Man, what a great film. Oscar winner, Spaceballs.
So I've started doing psychic karate recently, so I can get these people in
Really?
their fucking in their dreams, dude. Astral fucking karate shops. Everyone on these
How does
fucking
that-
lists. I've been like making lists. I don't know how it
do you
works
get
yet. I haven't
started in
leaked
that?
it. Craigslist. Back to our sponsor, Craigslist.
Okay.
It's
Craigslist.
Tiger
Backpages?
Schulman's. Yeah, dude. First off, Tiger Schulman's has many different dojos in many different shady areas. Okay, some of these are on the internet, folks. And another sponsor we have, Tiger Schulman's. Get punched. That's their motto, I think.
Craigslist, where if you meet in public and with a friend, it might be safe.
And also come get you some.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so that's another weird one referring to cooking, learning the recipe so that they can make it themselves again. And you're saying this is in response to little Jeffrey throwing a temper tantrum and firing the guy who he loves the jerky from because he went on a 5-day bender.
Yeah, he had a bit of a tizzy. A little bit of a Jeffrey tizzy, that happens when you're a billionaire and you don't get your fucking delectable little treats when you want them. He's such a butthole, dude. Like, just seeing how he deals with people is just fucking like, all right, because I dealt with some of these people, not knowing it's named, but like just the riches, dude, the richy rich, right? The rich that are more rich than the rich. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and I worked with their feckless, useless fucking relatives. It's funny because Kurt Metzger talked about this because his girlfriend worked at the Getty. So he mentioned how a lot of the relatives of like the Rothschilds and the DuPonts and the so on and so forth all worked in different little parts of the Getty Museum, right? But they did nothing important. And it was only so that they can say that they worked somewhere. Because she also noticed that they were getting paid nothing. It was like internship bullshit jobs, and what's it called? Like low end, low paying jobs, right? Like these are space filler people, right? But you hear the last name,
They
and
just
want to
say they work at Getty.
Yeah, dude. Because I work the same thing at the galleries, dude. You wouldn't believe how many fucking interns work there, right? That will never need a job. 7 generations of their family could be. I don't know, buskers on somewhere in California, the ones that have like 6 instruments and play them all at the same time. They can do that, right? And then donate all the change to charity and still not have to worry about money.
Yep.
And they work at these awesome institutions and take up all the entry-level jobs so they can fucking, I don't know, man. It's just weird. Because they also dress badass as hell. They have more money than God, so they come in like $15,000 fucking suits.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
$45,000 dolphin baby skin shoes.
And what's crazy is they look like fools, but they're wearing more than I'm going to make this year. So
yeah. Well, this is the thing I don't understand. It is the glasses, right? Like you wear glasses, your glasses look cool. What's up with the super circular round Beatles ass glasses, right? And like bright yellow or fucking red. Like you look like an asshole, Rosie O'Donnell. Oh man, Rosie O'Donnell wore those.
Oh boy.
I don't know why. Why would you wear the circles?
Okay.
You look like an asshole.
So, this again is going to naturally take this conversation.
Just real quick. Jamie Lee Curtis, who's actually, she's faced quite a bit of controversy for the art she has in her fucking house. But Jamie Lee Curtis also, who I thought was hot at one point in time. I don't know if anyone has seen the film True Lies, but she was a fucking smoke show in that movie. I was also like 10, I think, when I saw that. So, I don't know, pardon my dumb, idiot, immature eyes. But she has recently been wearing those dumb circle glasses and totally not hot anymore. And now she's old, which that's not so big of a problem, but she's not hot anymore,
Okay. I do want to say this.
Allegedly, folks.
Not that. I don't give a fuck about that. I wanted to say that, so Demi Moore had that movie, The Substance,
Now hold on. Okay, all right, you're going somewhere different then. I thought you were going to give the hard disclaimer of my idiot guest does not portray the views and opinions.
I started that before the show. I said neither one of us should be taken seriously. This is purely entertainment.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, that's just good lawyering. So anyway, if you didn't say that, I was going to say you should say that.
I did,
just
right at the top.
Okay, cool beans.
Right at the tippity top. And I don't think I did say this, but what I said was, for a lot of us, it's easier to laugh at these things instead of cry. And this is humor and entertainment. And at the end of the day, I think what's important and the reason I care about doing these and I put so much energy into doing these is because these victims got fucked for 30 years. Totally shafted because all these fuckers were rich and had teams of lawyers and used scare tactics, and they were completely silenced. If you watched the news cut in the beginning, FBI investigated 25 girls just in West Palm Beach. High school girls.
Well, check this out. In the first lawsuit, right, the lawyer that they had actually went to the law firm that the girls were using, right, tried to point them in a totally different direction, got caught doing so, and got thrown off the fucking case. And I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons why he paid out so much goddamn money to a bunch of the victims. But then the DOJ twice fucked these girls over. Once when they didn't disclose the sweetheart deal to any of the victims. They that's illegal, and they had to pay out themselves for that. And they got sued themselves for that. Virginia was like a fucking pit bull when it came to hammering the DOJ and Epstein and Ghislaine for years. Then they got screwed over the other time was recently when all their fucking names ended up. Right. So what the other lawyer did in order to get the names of the victims and to get to their law firms was he was going through the discovery, and anytime they fucked up and missed a name or anything like that, he would then go and try and extort and harass the women as well. So that's what's going to happen this time. Right. All these poor girls that got fucking named in this are just going to be further annoyed by whatever shitty legal team is being hired, because that's the whole thing. Like, a lot of people that helped with his PR and stuff, maybe they didn't do anything wrong. Cough, cough, Steve Bannon, you piece of shit. But what you did was you tried to put this pedophile into others' surroundings, right? Like, kind of like what Ghislaine was doing with Prince Andrew. She used Prince Andrew to pull in every other celebrity and any other jerk off that just wanted the clout, right? So you have people that are
just like her daddy would, right?
Yeah. But it's just it's super dirty to me when you're like, I don't know what's worse. Is the devil worse, or is it the people that work for the devil that know he's the devil? And know that's his thing, because this is the whole thing. Jeffrey Epstein's a total piece of shit. But if he didn't have the hundreds of people running cover for him 24/7, he would have gone to jail properly. He would have been fucking kept away from the public for a very long time.
Should have been.
Like a couple of the agents and stuff, and some of the what's it called, psychologists who have spoken out. Mentioned that he was mentioned as a reoccurring offender within some of the paperwork in his first lawsuit, right? So it's not like they didn't think he would ever reoffend again. They knew he would.
Yeah. Well, so there's kind of the updates this last couple days has been that the victim who said she was sexually abused by both Trump and Epstein, and one of the files that the DOJ held back for whatever reason, I think the excuse they used was their system flagged it as a duplicate, so they didn't release it, even though everything with Trump's name was flagged as a duplicate or whatever. But anyway, so they said in this one document that came out. It was actually 2 more complaints. They call them 302s in the FBI of the same witness telling her story. And by the time they get to her, I think the second or the third one, the FBI guy's like, okay, can we go through your story and document this? And she's like, y'all took like past the statute of limitations on purpose. She's all, now he's the president and I'm just me. Like, no, I don't want to go forward with this. Like, this is stupid.
Well, what's crazy is so I didn't know that Bill Clinton was the president who brought that bill in to where you can have a slush fund, right? And I didn't realize he was also the one who was the one they voted to keep that slush fund private.
We're finding out new little treats every day.
But that slush fund is a real dirty, tricky thing, isn't it? Because that means that like any potential president, senator, anything like that who falls within the like, I don't think every single politician in the world is, well, maybe not the world, but the United States is up for grabs with that, right? I think you have to be in the club and you have to be on a meteoric rise to where they're willing to shell out that money to shut those victims up. Because we've seen some of them with, Bill Clinton's, all of them didn't get caught up. You know, some of them, I think it was Flowers, she was able to get through the filter. You know, but that thing is what's preventing, I don't know, any kind of progress in this country, really, right?
Makes me think of that DiCaprio movie, One Battle After Another.
I haven't seen that yet. Don't you dare spoil it. Now, I think no spoilers I watched, what was it? Critical Drinker. He has a synapses on it, and I kind of want to watch it now. But I watched his thing, so I kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah, exactly. There's this general gets an invitation to be in this elite, secretive society where, you know, it's whiteys only. And it's really interesting. Sean Penn plays an amazing uptight general.
Have you seen The Hunt? It's kind of like a parody of conspiracy theories of
yes, where except it's the liberals trying to shoot like who they think are the conservatives, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny, except for the ending. The ending, it's pretty goddamn retarded real quick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because it was funny that it was like a conspiracy coming true, you know, like but then in a way that it came true, it was still pretty fucking funny because it wasn't what you would expect. But they just wrote it similar to was the Iron what the hell is it? The alien conspiracy movie with the Hitler and stuff. That was a good one. Shit, I can't remember.
That's okay. We'll come back to it. Okay, so these two emails, this was 2012, December 21st. So we are 4 days before the day of our Lord, Jesus Christ, our Savior. December 21st, 2012. Redacted says, "Hi, Steve. On Jeffrey's Island is requesting the latest beef jerky recipe as Jeffrey Epstein, J.E., has asked her to try and make some. He says the last batch you made tasted different, and I think he likes it as he would like her to attempt it. Would it be possible to forward us this recipe?" And this is to Steve Hansen. Thank you, Steve, but I have now been told it is the old way Francis was doing it, that he likes it best, and not the latest batch. So on Little St. James is going to try and do it that way. I am in Europe, but is with him on the island. That's just how it's written, folks. If you need, you can liaise with her about getting anything down. Thank you. Recipe, yes, later today, but you don't have the type of beef that Jeff likes. That was one issue of the last batch. But I just made another batch, picking it up later today, and was going to either send it to you or give to Ava to bring. I was going to ask Jeff if Ava is still going in the next few days. So can you ask which one, I guess, he thinks would be the quickest? But at noon, Jerky is ready to be sent, and I'll get you the recipe ASAP. So he's sending him the jerky, and they need a recipe. They're in dire jerky
Dude, what is
situation here.
Jerky. Like, it's beef jerky. I've eaten the beef jerky, you know.
It was the wrong kind,
the beef
though.
jerky. It was not made of fucking drugs and people. I think it's a combination of the two now. Now I'm convinced it's both.
I mean, it really could be. If you look at some of the crazy stuff that's come out, you know, we've been looking into all kinds of crazy things, and I have not been able to really deep dive the patent that looks like a plant that you said is for basically controlling people.
Yeah, it's like a scopolamine. It's kind of similar to a psychedelic, but it's more like similar to like the African voodoo like zombie shit from like Haiti.
Okay. Okay. But how do you patent that? What did you do? Just patent a way to ingest it or something?
Well, I mean, he knows all the people you would go through. The scientists you'd have to have, the trials you'd have to do, then the medical company that you'd have to bring it through. Like, remember Moderna and all that shit that worked with Bill Gates and stuff. Like, he was buddy-buddy with Bill Gates all through the COVID back talks. We know that now. You know, so yeah. I think that we don't know what the fuck he was doing with it. You know, we still have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of some new sleep medication from fucking for insomnia. You know, who the hell knows? Because those ones are a bit older. That's not as new as these ones here. This is all 2012 to 2016, 2017, I think.
Yes. And that's what's like so strange is like clearly this is something that was going on for years and years and years.
You ever have a diet last 6 years, you know, or no, maybe not 6 years, but 4.5 years, you know?
Yeah. Okay. This one I thought was weird too. Hi, Francis. Have you had a chance to make any more jerky since being back? We are almost all out and would love some FedExed. And I'm holding you responsible for breaking my food vegetarian habits for 6 years with a wink. It's like it could be as innocent as, or it could be like the most terrible thing you think.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like these are innocent people.
Yeah, it's strange. I've also been to restaurants. There's a place called Bear Burger that was in New York that was a chain, but they were like a small chain. I think they only had like a couple of restaurants throughout the United States.
Okay.
But their thing was like they do all sorts of crazy, wacky shit. They had alligator burgers. They had ostrich burgers. They had kangaroo burgers. They had all sorts of shit. All things that you can eat, but things that you'd pay a hell of a lot of money to have imported from wherever they would come from, you know?
All right.
I'll tell you this. A lot of meat does not taste good. You know, and maybe I'm a wuss who likes processed store-bought goods. But yes, I'm a wuss who likes processed store-bought goods. Like, a lot of it's gamey and weird.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the gamey taste. I know that's like something that we're supposed to like or whatever, but I don't like the gamey taste.
Well, yeah, they're talking about like venison.
It's not what I was raised on.
Like venison and bison and all that. Where,
yeah, and I've tried it all.
Have some chicken. Yeah, maybe a good beef jerky. If you're jerkying things, I'll have a traditional beef jerky. You know, if we're going Jamaican style, I have a jerk chicken. Perhaps don't think
snap
they're the
into
same.
a Slim Jim like the Macho Man here.
I'll snap right into a whole little Slim Jim because them things are salty and they'll kill you, folks.
That's right. I'm down with that.
Clog a whole
7 days a week, twice on Sunday. I'm down with that. But if it's the other thing, oh, buddy, if it's the other thing that's rumored. What do you think?
But I think it's real weird. I think that if it is the other thing, this guy wouldn't know, Francis Derby. Like, we saw pretty damn quickly that he was trying to get his little ladies of the night to concoct his jerky recipes. So I think any of that funky shit going down, it would have been them, because then he wouldn't have to bring a new person into his illegal fold. You know, it seems like he was at least smart enough to keep certain people away from some of this shit, like some of his pilots. You know, he kept in the dark. You know, like the one who gave us almost everything as far as the flight logs are concerned. He gave that up very willingly, and he was doing his flight manifest. Jeffrey told him not to. He was like, "You don't got to worry about that." And he was like, "Fuck that! I'm flying with people over whatever borders and things. I'm keeping a manifest." So, like, he even inquired, and some people he was just told, "No, that's 2 girls. They don't have names." You know, like 2 young girls, it would say in some of the flight logs. So, I don't know, man. It's just very strange. And then you have Bill Clinton and Rachel Chandler, who was in the files on Jeffrey Epstein's plane.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting that the DOJ pushed out those non-released Epstein files regarding Trump literally right after Pam Bondi was subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee, who actually went against the advisement of the panel's leader and voted to subpoena Pam Bondi.
Yeah, she's a fucking bozo. Like this is the thing. Like, I've never seen anybody trip over themselves faster to kiss somebody's asshole, like,
she's
more
a
vigorously.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I've never seen it so willing. Like Kash Patel at least stops a minute to like wipe the brown off his fucking mouth. You know, the poo.
Is that while he's taking shots in the locker room?
Mouth. Yeah, he's at least a rinsing. You know, in between with the boys in the locker room. You know, Pam seems like she's hired a tailor to sew her mouth onto his asshole for convenience sake. You know, like I don't know, man. I'm like, to literally tell the American people, go fuck yourself. We're making money. You know, you're not making money, because I don't know if anyone's figured this out. Unless you made double what you started making in 2020 now, you're losing it all to your fucking grocery bill and your grocery bill alone. All the grocery stores have almost doubled the price of everything.
Yeah,
now.
But the good news is their 401k is tanking because we're at war.
Yeah. No, that's not even fucking true, because those numbers are bullshit. Everyone's making money right now. Everyone's making money right now. None of us. But if you're a business and you have decided to donate anything to the government, then they're going to give you a contract to then manufacture some bullshit for them. You know,
man.
The no.
So let me ask you this,
contract,
Mr. Magnet: how often have you had jerky analyzed?
Not a single fucking time. Never. Because you can usually figure that out. Yeah. Like, it's like math. And Epstein, the little math whiz that he is, he could look at the ingredients going in and then go, I'm going to add up the amount of fucking sodium in these 3 ingredients. And then I'm going to add up the amount of this in these 3 ingredients. You can figure that out without having to pay. Like, oh man, there's a company that I forget who it was, but they might have been Vice, where they did a documentary on like the process of getting things fully analyzed and tested. Right, in order to get something tested microscopically or whatever, you have to have it pulverized completely and then passed through, kind of like a laser. I don't know, a testing system. You know what I mean? Like it goes in like a spectrometer. You know, it blasts whatever thing with the laser till it atomizes itself into extremely small particles, and then it takes a reading. Whatever sensor on the inside tells you what's in there. You do that with cannabis because it legally makes you do that if you're a cannabis company in certain states. You know, like that's why some states do it. Most states don't. Most states don't even give a shit what the fuck is in there. So in order to do that, it costs a whole hell of a lot of money, like in the hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure it's that expensive because the equipment is crazy fucking expensive, and B, they don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry plugging up their laboratories with like, hey man, can you test this here thing for me, please?
Analyze this here jerky.
I say my hot wings are the hottest on the block. I'd like to be able to not be a liar, please.
Right. I need this backed by science.
I need sciences to back me up here. But yeah,
so what?
It's just not feasible to do that.
Well, and let's try this. What would you? You're saying if we were to analyze jerky, we'd be analyzing it for the like the protein value and the whatever acid value and the whatever, we're checking it for basically what it's made up of and what is in it that's going to benefit us. So it's a very strange word to use about analyzing jerky, unless I think one thing he has proven is that he's not as smart as everybody thought he was. So maybe he thought them getting this new batch was them analyzing it. I don't know.
Well, maybe the girls just needed something to do. That's also too. What I'm thinking.
Yeah.
He's like,
they weren't operating the camera that day.
Yeah, they need something. These girls need something to do. They're fucking pillow fighting, and you know what I mean. They're all cycling on their periods together. The moon harvest and whatnot. I don't know anything about that, but it sounds plausible to me. But like I think he's
that's actually what that temple was for. He just sent him out there once a month.
He's like, you girls are driving me up a fucking wall. Go to the temple. Go to the temple. Have your little cudgel up there.
Oh man. Okay, so yes, and this is the email, the one in the middle there. Again, we're in 2012, where the guy gives him the story about his dog eating it. For real, my dog got into my bag when I returned and ate the jerky.
I don't buy it. Not one bit.
You don't
buy it?
No way. The dog ate your homework?
No way. He got.
I mean, look, I have a very stubborn, large dog, and I could see him if he really wanted to doing a lot of crazy shit for a bag of jerky. If it was that good.
He's gonna figure out how to open your luggage.
No.
He's gonna figure out how to unzip your nice, beautiful luggage. He's gonna move.
Right, they like put them in sealed bags, and in
this whole thing
cooled bag.
He's like, look, I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it was. And then I was doing some investigatory work. He goes, and then I as I'm about to leave, I did the Columbo turnaround, wagging my finger. And I go, you know what? One last thing. Let me check by the dog bed. And sure enough, the evidence was right there. What the dog had done.
It's Labrador, man.
He had tried to obscure the bag with his toys. Now, I don't know if any toys were there, but he found the bag next to the dog's bed. Like, I don't know. If I find me some jerky and I'm a dog, I'm eating it on the spot, just in case you find me with this awesome bag of jerky. And then there's probably not going to be any bag left either, because I'm going to eat the evidence.
Yeah.
Eat all the doggy evidence. Yep. I'm going to eat the dog then. At that point, he eats the jerky. I eat the dog now. Are we talking about an eye for a dog eye or something? Because I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I'm talking big for the show.
So, okay. So what were, of the jerky emails, which one caught your attention the most, or the jerky exchanges?
The ones where he's yelling at people about lists and grocery things, and then I don't know, just the way he treated this guy. If I'm a cook, because first off, he wasn't this guy's private chef. He didn't stay anywhere solely, and he worked at the ranch. So he was out in Zorro around that time. But now this is the thing, is he had his little cannibal restaurant, right? And it was running from, I think, 2013, 2014 to whenever it closed. So he wasn't like this guy's fucking only chef. So what the hell is this dude calling him at 3 a.m. to bitch about fucking beef jerky? That to me is the weirdest part. If it's just beef jerky, I'm telling this guy to go fuck off. I'm not a doctor. You don't have you don't have some kind of debilitating injury that needs to be fucking adhered to immediately.
Right, it's beef jerky, fucker.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually gonna tell you that because I'm a badass chef. Like, clearly this guy is good enough chef that, like, he's in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. These are like Seinfeld would have his own chef. These are all people that pay you $300,000 a year to only cook them food because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, like Ellen would have one of these in one of her half dozen properties.
I think she has 4.
Jesus
on a
Christ.
rotating basis, because only one can't do more than 3 months. Something about, I don't know, domestic violence or something. I don't know. Those are just rumors, folks. These are just the rumors you hear when you got your ear to the street. Okay.
I heard it was with French baguette, a 2-day-old French baguette. Those things are lethal.
So this is my question to you, Mr. Flak Magnet. Just what would you say this jerky is?
I'm gonna go soil and green on this one. I think it's people. People.
Okay.
Now, what if it's adrenalized people? You know, like what if they figured out
the adrenochrome deal?
Yeah, dude. What if they're spooking these people out and then like fucking jerkying them up? That's a big old maybe. I'm not gonna say definitely, but like we're going wildest theory possible. To me, that's what it is. Because we were all correct with our mildest theories, which we all got fucking absolutely called crazy for several years ago. So now I'm going fucking full balls to the wall on this one. It's soil and green as people, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to give these folks the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, that's why my first thought was drugs when I started reading them. I'm like, oh, these guys just think they're clever talking about drugs, like cocaine or something. But then, like, the verbiage used, it doesn't, to me, you know, and look, we all only have our own experiences, but to me, it didn't match up with how you would be communicating about that. Again, asking a drug dealer for their recipe, it's weird, y'all.
It's usually drugs, unless you're like this.
And even if he's a chef.
Yeah.
Why would a world-renowned chef just give you his recipe?
Well, that's strange. I wouldn't. Have you ever tried to get like a good cookie recipe from any relative? No, they'll fight you before telling you what that recipe is. I got stabbed by my aunt for even looking at the paper next to the kitchen. She knew what I was looking at. I was trying to find a recipe, and it wasn't even it. But I still got a little
eyes in the back of her head.
Yeah, I still got a little bit of a stab there. You know.
Yeah, be careful, dude. Okay, so people, and I gotta say, you know, after reading several articles and doing a lot of research on it, I'm landing more on the weird side of either people or something that was so bad they couldn't spit the actual word out of what they were talking about. That's just kind of my personal opinion. And it's like, it's hard because you feel like there's just no way, it's over the top to say that. But let's think about the other things that this group of people have done. And I want to share it. This is just one picture from the Epstein files, and I think it says a lot. I think that picture right there sums up a lot. This right here is I get to do whatever the fuck I want to money.
Yep. It's fuck you money, right? And that's just a little bit. That's like one piece.
Just a little bit.
One piece of the fuck you pie, people.
Right. And we know he had bags and bags like this. Boxes.
Oh, did you? Speaking of power, money, and influence, did you hear the update with the Hillary Clinton situation? Or shall I say Chelsea Clinton situation? She was being sublet the apartment that she was in New York. I mean, think until his death, and even still after that, by the person running it her Chelsea Clinton and her husband's apartment was one of the ones that Epstein owned within his trust.
See, that's, again, yet another connection between him and these people. Does that make these people guilty, or were they just
But
played?
she didn't know him. She didn't know. But that's the whole thing. She has to lie. Right? So she could say, I met him a billion times and I never had a clue.
I just
But
was an
instead she
idiot.
goes, I never met him. I don't remember ever meeting him. Never, ever, ever. Okay. So your husband is on his plane 26 times. In his orbit, far more than that, obviously.
At least.
And then during that presidency, visited the White House many times.
Yes.
You never met him.
And the
Okay.
In the one massage I got, they got it on photo. I can't believe it. Just the
But
one
I did not
massage.
inhale during that massage. I did not inhale at all. I did a little cocaine. I did not inhale, folks.
I don't know how much I saw you in there when I was doing the Epstein, and I appreciate you trying to hop in a couple of times. We were having technical stuff with the Clinton depositions. It took 2 episodes and about 10 hours, but we got them.
Oh my God.
One more digital footprint out there of that,
I tried, bud.
deposition.
I tried. I'll tell you what happened was I was screaming at the top of my
it's tough.
lungs.
I know.
I don't think the data could handle my anger. So it just booted me. I couldn't get back on properly. So I just hung out in the old listener gallery.
It's
with my
so
buds.
maddening. It's so maddening. Just listening to them tell lie after lie. Like, I swear, if I hear the not to my knowledge or I don't recall again, I'm going to crash out. Like,
You're
it was
legally
so
allowed to
crazy.
crash
I
out.
think technically I did crash. I had a mini crash out for 1 second because it was like, God, these people are just full of shit. Like, it's so funny because it's like they're playing 80s, 90s politics in this age where it's like, that shit doesn't work. We know the next day what's going on. So you can try to lie about it, but...
Well, yeah, the problem was that like, so he didn't get nailed on every shitty thing he did as president and beforehand, but he did get caught completely lying about the whole Monica Lewinsky situation. So we saw him lie about that very easily. You know, same thing with Hillary. Like, she was around a lot longer than he was. He had his 8 years and then went off into the fucking rafters. She was hanging around and giving her fucking opinion on everything.
I was in the hot tub, not the rafters. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure there's also a hot tub in the rafters. Fucker.
Oh man.
But yeah, so like we got to see them be very good professional liars. Like, I saw people, like, this is the thing, right? So now they're gonna like, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Hillary runs now, right? Just to say
again.
Well, because people now are gloating. I've seen it on YouTube, gloating at how well she handled that here. She did not handle that shit well. Not
she did
well
for
at
an
all.
attorney, not for a president.
For an attorney, she did a great job for somebody we want the truth out of. Because this is her thing. I'll answer any question. That's not answering any question. Is saying the fucking I do not recall shit.
Not to
over
my
and over again.
knowledge. I don't recall. Not to my knowledge. I don't recall.
Yeah, so
Not to my knowledge.
she's a terrible fucking person. Great liar. You know.
Did she order any jerky? I couldn't pin her down to ordering jerky.
I don't think she liked it that way.
At least not from this cast of characters.
Yeah, I think she's more of a sushi kind of gal, if you get my drift. You know what I mean?
That can mean so many things. So many.
Yeah, she's not into all the preparation. She'd rather just go at it. You know, I'm pretty sure the thing's still living if she could. Terrible, awful person.
Oh man, yeah, it's a wild world, and that's why for me, if you would have told me, Gabe, if you told me 6-7 months ago, Gabe, you're going to be doing a show with Flak Magnet about how these rich people eat people, I'd have been like, shut the fuck up. No, I'm not.
I would have also probably been like, that might be a bit too
and here
extreme.
we are.
You know, not
And
that
here
it's
we
not.
are.
Not that this is not something I've considered for the longest time, but it would have been too extreme to have this put on paper as any kind of opinion I'd want to be associated with, like
Right.
officially. Just because, to be gloated on again over just the normal Epstein shit, over a crazier opinion that could never ever possibly be found to be true, quote unquote. I would have fucking backed away. Now I have no problem going like, there's enough fucking clues here, you know.
To be gaslit like time and time again. And here's what is interesting too is that these scientists were not just like your run-of-the-mill scientists. A lot of these guys believed in some really progressive stuff, like what would almost be called unproven science, metaphysical science. We're talking summoning and using dark arts and things like that to maybe create some kind of energy, and modifying genetics to make like a perfect race, and all these different viewpoints on things. I'm not saying having an opinion viewpoint's bad. I love it. Scientists, talk about all the crazy shit, please. But the fact that he was rounding up these specific scientists and holding these multi-day long events, and right around that time, the demand for jerky would always rise. Okay, just so the guests like jerky too?
Yeah, it's weird.
Or
it's weird.
Do they need them to perform their esoteric rituals? You have some of these guys involved with the Bohemian Club, some of these guys involved with Skull and Bones, so rituals and shit is not new to them.
See, Bohemian Club, I feel like that's the Boy Scout version. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's their predatory angle, is going after the Boy Scout types. You know, presidential Boy Scout types that eventually become movers and shakers politically, you know. That's my wild opinion on the Bohemian Grove, but I see what you mean. I don't disagree either. I think I agree.
Yeah. Well, if anything, the Bohemian Grove is a bunch of rich people, a bunch of elite people and world leaders meeting without cameras. So at the very worst, it's that. Meeting without any kind of documentation or any scribe even. I mean, literally, it's rich elites and political leaders locking everyone else out.
There's cameras and shit there, which is the wildest part, right? Like, the dancer and a few other people have like snuck in and broken into some of the cabins.
Well, I know Alex Jones did a long time ago.
It's like Skull and Bones, though, where they have a secret roster of things, right? Where I think they do keep meticulous notes and stuff, but we just never, ever are gonna fucking get a look at those things, because there's the Skull and Bones book that I'm reading right now is covering the entire like Yale history with Skull and Bones and its start, and there's only very few years that we even know any of the members, and it says roughly around 600 to 700 are still living at any point in time.
And a lot of them go to intelligence and these really elite roles in the government, or
dude, at least 3 of them have been
lobbyists.
presidents. At least I believe some of them have ran against each other. It was like John Kerry and Bush ran against each other, and they're both Skull and Bones. Because then you have Lock and Key, and you have Wolf's Head, which is 2 other competing orders that are of the same guild within Yale.
Right. And Bush's dad ran CIA and then became president for a term. And they had that little spout in Kuwait. Some people would say that was a grab of something we needed in Iraq. I don't know, but there's definitely some evidence that points to that being a possibility. But getting back to these Fruit Loops and jerky, I guess really the question is, if you review the emails for yourself and you don't think any of it is weird, I can respect that. but at least check them out yourself. Do yourself a favor, because they try to tell us Pizzagate was fake. And then because this dude took it too far and probably went into the wrong place, and it ended in this tragic story. Then they were able to call they were able to call the entire thing a conspiracy, when we can still see the connections.
And this is the wild part. His dad was a politician. He got into a DUI where he hit somebody, and I believe they died. Not the politician, but his son, the one who went into Comet. Then I believe it was within that time period where, like, because those charges dropped and went away. So it looked, in the conspiracy crowd, we all looked at it as like he got told to do something, and like maybe some charges will disappear, because he only also did a year or less for the incident at Comet, and then he died pretty soon after. And it was really weird because he gets pulled out of the car by a police officer. He's turned around and she shoots him in his back. If I'm not mistaken, he gets shot in his back with his hands like behind his head.
Mm-hmm.
So just very, very strange.
Oh man. I'm going to, instead of beating around the bush, I'm just going to ask you very directly for your opinion. Do you think not all, but some of the motivation for President Trump to launch this attack in Iran was to distract from this story, the Epstein files?
Yeah, I'll go a step further and I'll say everything weird since 2018 has been some kind of test to see if they can shift public's attention. And I think the most drastic was probably 2020, but they didn't realize giving that many people time off to fucking look into all this shit. And because that was the problem. Like, it gave people so much time to, like, I think so many people were like, I'm tired of hearing these dumb, crazy stories. Because that's what got me into really looking into a lot of this stuff. Like, early on in the forums, you hear things said and you go, that's bullshit. And if there's like the 15th time I seen it in like an obscure forum, I was like, I'm going to fucking fact check this bullshit. And then you wind up finding out there's more weird shit these people aren't talking about. So you're like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And then over time, it just builds because more people throw in like their evidence that they found, so you just keep stacking it. And now we're here in 2026 where we have government releases on this stuff. And I mean, like, people were talking about Jeffrey before he got arrested for the last time, right? So he went into jail, and then it was only when he hung himself that he became a meme himself, right? The Epstein didn't kill himself. Everyone was talking about that shit. And that was like, and that was right before 2020. Then 2020 hits, the COVID lockdown happens, and then everyone was like, I'm gonna start looking into this. Ghislaine is now arrested.
Got some time.
Let me start seeing what's going down. And then because of, if I'm not mistaken, it was because of the shit with 2020, they were able to close all the government offices. You weren't allowed to go film in, like, because all the First Amendment guys, they made a thing of going into like post offices and stuff because of how weird everybody got about filming in government buildings. You're 100%, and this is what people need to realize. You are 100% legally allowed at any point in time in a public servant's job. You're allowed to film them. It sucks. I'm not telling you to go film them, but you're allowed. You're legally allowed to film them, because if you're doing something illegal on the government's dime and your dime, technically, you're allowed to grass them up. This ain't the streets. They work for the government. Rat people, turn into a fucking snitch if you can. We should all do this with the pedo stuff too. Fuck it. This ain't street logic for these people. Rat them out.
Yeah, I agree. That, look, it's like I said in a previous episode, criminals don't even give these guys a pass. So why the fuck would we?
Dude, that Tartaglione guy, the guy who was accused of trying to kill Jeffrey the first time in his cell, that was a big steroid, muscle-bound hitman cop. Okay, he had... they were looking into him, investigating him for a bunch of shit that he was doing. Then they kind of got a ton of evidence on him, so he went around and killed like 4 witnesses. And he got caught doing that. So he's like a 4-time murderer at the very least. is in this guy's cell, and he's also a former cop, so he's supposed to have some kind of decorum, right? Doesn't. And within, I think, the week that he's in there, he goes, this guy keeps trying to talk to me, right? And every time he gets into more than a paragraph, I go, I don't want to talk to you. Fuck you, pedo. And then Jeffrey would complain about that. He goes, the guy was nice, but he would call me a pedo all the time, and like tell me he didn't want to talk to me. Which, good on him. Good on the murderer for having better morals than our entire political class.
That's what I mean. Like, the murderers won't fuck with these guys. I mean, why do we, how did he, like that deal he got in Florida, we find out now they literally interviewed over 50 high school age girls and still no charges.
Just Palm Beach alone, he got looked into in the 90s. Like they were looking into this guy and his Palm Beach bullshit in the fucking 90s. Late 90s the most, and then things kind of got brushed away until the fucking cops got fed up enough, and then they brought him in for the real shit, and then he still got a sweetheart deal out of it. You had over and over, like, because this is the thing, we all like to say the whole entire FBI is corrupt. There are some people in the files that you can see they're really, really trying to do their job, even like, because this is the whole thing. You'll have a crazy, wacky conspiracy person call the fucking FBI and then say some shit in the hotline, and then someone will have to run down those leads. They will begrudgingly do it. And they talk about it. One was like, that's satanic, blah, 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 whatever cult. Did you ever look into that? And he goes, well, yeah, I did. There was some fact behind that, but I looked into that crazy theory, but, there was something to it. So let's not poo-poo completely.
There was some skin on the bone, but, someone told me to back up.
Whatnot.
Yeah. Yep. Someone said if I wanted that promotion, I better find another case to worry about. If you think that doesn't happen, it happens every fucking day.
Slush fund, slush fund. It doesn't say what kind of crimes. It doesn't say what kind of crimes that slush fund covers, bud. And I'm pretty sure it's the fucking worst of the worst crimes, because you wouldn't need a slush fund for jaywalking. No. You wouldn't need a slush fund for Trump's grabbing him by the pussy. You know what I mean? We saw that he didn't need the slush fund for that, for the lawsuit that he did get for the grab him by the pussy actuality. That case was crazy, and I don't really believe that woman anyway. But he was charged for it, so she didn't get slush fund treatment. So there's obviously a certain bar it even has to reach in order to get you get paid out. And there was a woman who was viciously fucking raped, and she got $800,000 from one of these guys. So I don't know. There are some women who got millions. So if we look at that scale, allegedly, I should say that.
So Psionic is saying he's doing as they have planned since before he left office the last term. Hence the files he left with and the FBI got involved in. So wouldn't that be interesting if those classified papers that were withheld happen to be the same ones that Donald Trump had when he left office that he got a slap on the wrist for?
Look, we can dispel all the rumors because we know the logic behind this, right? Because they use that to encroach on our fucking privacy all the time. By that I mean the government, right? If you have nothing to hide, what are you so worried about?
Yeah, it's not like anybody died for these freedoms.
Palantir, let Palantir have all your information and give it right over to the government. Because why? Oh, because you yourself know you have nothing to worry about. Yeah, I know I have nothing to worry about, but I know you'll never give me my privacy back.
Is 1984 still required reading in schools? Are there any teachers in the house?
No,
do people still have to read 1984?
Pretty sure that ended up on the ban list. No, I don't know. I wasn't given. I was told I should read it by a smart teacher, but I wasn't even given that in school.
Wow. Yeah, I think it was required reading when I was younger. High school. I want to say from my freshman year of high school, I think. And yeah, I mean, why isn't that required reading?
You know what though? I did get To Kill a Mockingbird, and I did get Animal Farm, and I did get
the N-bomb 500 times.
Yeah, geez, man. That was a fucking long read.
So
and I felt like it was way more like what's it called, Taxi than
yeah. You're like, I don't live in
what I thought it was.
1932. I can't relate to this in any way, shape, or form.
What was the other one? Oh man, there's the other one that they make.
The one where they're poor and they head west.
No. What the hell was it? The kid is drinking cough syrup. He's got a cough syrup bottle, but it's filled with whiskey. I think his name is Holden.
I don't know, buddy. You lost me.
Yeah, I can't remember because To Kill a Mockingbird was like Boo Radley in the tree.
Right.
The other one, it wasn't To Kill a Mockingbird. It's like Taxi anyway. It was the other one. Oh shit, man! Where the kid starts cutting class and like meets a prostitute and all that stuff. Very well, I guess De Niro's a bit old to be cutting class while he's driving his taxi. But the whole prostitution thing where he heads to New York, and I don't know. I read this in like fucking 7th grade. For some reason, they had us reading this one.
Yeah, well, in my research, I did find that Bohemians, in particular Bohemians in the Czech Republic, did some fantastic things with legalizing prostitution and apparently like trying to keep the prostitutes safe or something, or it's probably the opposite now, but that was the idea, I guess, when I was looking into it.
You're talking about laws?
Yeah, well, because we kind of like, we're all judgy with people that work in the sex industry. And
but laws aren't going to fix the problem. A couple of karate lessons would fix the problem. You know what
I mean, if you think prostitution's a problem, human trafficking is a problem.
No, I'm talking about the murdering of the women, the trafficking. Yeah, if the women learn a couple karate lessons, they'll fuck these dudes up. You won't fuck around with a woman who's a black belt. She's already got her hand on your penis. You're not fucking around at that point. I'm not sure how prostitution
The problem
works,
is half of them, they are trafficked.
Naked.
And they just inject them with needles. Yeah, it's awful, man.
Okay.
So Jerky, now we're pretty, if you had a scale, 100%, 1 to 100%, how confident are you that what Jeffrey Epstein and his chef were talking about here and these girls that were involved, they were talking about human meat?
We'll say 33%.
33%, so a third?
Esoteric number. 33%.
Okay.
33.3% actually. For the numerologists in the audience.
So a 33.3% chance does these interactions have to do with eating human flesh?
Yeah. Then the other 33 would be like some kind of weird drug references. And the third one would be maybe it's beef jerky, but they're fucking real weird if it's beef. Like, we don't hate these people enough then. Okay? If this is the kerfuffle, if you go look in your own fucking emails, people, do you have 300 emails about beef jerky?
I bet you don't. I mean, maybe if you work at a beef jerky plant.
If you had $1 billion, I don't think the words beef jerky would ever leave my fucking lips at that point. I'd be eating, I don't know, fucking goose livers, golden goose livers, the hardest to find gooses,
and that's
the gold ones.
But see, that actually helps. That actually helps the non-nefarious explanation that this wasn't just average jerky. This was top shelf jerky that, yes, you did have to freeze because it's like a fresh, expensive
It's the
jerky.
whole point is it's not fresh. You're jerkying the fucking beef.
It's fresh frozen.
You ever see how
it's frozen fresh?
it's fresh frozen. It's still fresh. Oh, I love that. All right, so the whole point is you're like, all right, so this is like the oldest type of meat you could eat, right? Like, this is what they would.
Native Americans would just
give you a hard
hang a slab of it in the sun and boom, jerky.
Well, even early military shit, you know what I mean? You get a tin of maybe potted beef, but like you're getting beef jerky, you're making beef jerky if you kill something.
Right.
You know, like you're gonna try and dry that meat out so you can have it. And that's the whole point too, is like there's no moisture, not enough anyway that like you don't need to freeze it. You throw a couple of those like salt packs in there, like the food safe dehydrants. Because you like the problem is you throw it in the freezer,
but he's a snob though, Flak.
Yeah, it would ruin it. It would ruin
snob. Yeah.
So you're giving me more reason to why he wouldn't do it. So when you freeze something, the water molecules crystallize and they expand. So why meat usually is not as good when it's in the freezer is because it's expanded and then contracts. So you have all those spaces in the water molecules that then fucked your steak up. If let's say you're doing
but
wouldn't stew,
wouldn't pouring a bunch of salt and preservatives fuck it up too though?
No, you're doing the opposite. You're pulling all that moisture out, but there's still going to be a little bit. You can't get it like if it would be crunchy if there was no moisture, you know.
Well, that's how they would like back in the day. That's how they would ship it between continents, right? Just salt.
Yeah. So you would. That's the whole point. You wouldn't need to freeze the shit. It's made so that you don't freeze it. It doesn't make any sense. Fuck these people. They don't. Either that or this guy's a bozo when it comes to jerky. He's not a real jerky.
So 33% and a third, 33.3% jerky. What makes up the other 66.6%? 60.
Yeah, drug 33, another 33.3 for the drugs,
so
and then
third of a chance drugs.
Yeah, now I got to find something else because it's going to be even way less that is jerky now. Because we just talked through. I doubt it's jerky. They'd never.
Yeah, I probably have jerky in it being actually jerky in the 20% range.
Yep.
You know.
So now, what's the other 10%?
And the only reason it gets that much is just because Occam's razor. Because
you're using the word jerky.
Minds are like, there's no way, right? And you're using the word jerky, and you're talking about transporting it. And there's nothing specifically said that's really nefarious other than it's just fucking weird.
It also kind of proves the whole point of like police work and stuff is not what it used to be. Like back in the day, you solve a big case. That's a career maker. You move up, you know, like even until the movie Training Day, like the guy's whole perspective is like, all right, I'm in narcotics unit. I get a big enough case. I go up to detective. He's like, then I'm out of pocket narcotics. I'm a detective at that point. You know, you go into homicide. You do whatever the fuck else after that. But like now, it's not even like that. Now it seems like you got to fuck up good enough and just keep your mouth shut, and then you rise up the ranks. So much so that like this thing right here, what we're discussing now, maybe they're eating people. It's a fucking career maker. You know, like let alone you solve a trafficking ring, but this is career maker. You find trafficking and cannibalism and like any number of things. This would put you on the fast track of, I don't know, Columbo status. You know, legendary history in the department.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's amazing that we can't find someone with some clout that's trying to, like, we should have a fucking Epstein czar, dude, that's not related to any of these fucks. Like, no way, not in the emails. He doesn't hang out with these people. He's been Captain Square his whole life, right? Believes in the Constitution, which I love. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like, we need like that super square soldier guy that's like just going to objectively analyze all the data. Because otherwise it's like, what are we going to get out of this?
Well, what sucks is like the closest thing that we're ever going to get are these subpoenas that nothing's happening over. Like we're seeing lies being fucking told right to our faces and nothing's happening. Bill Clinton was like, I don't remember any of those people. And then they're like, well, look at the picture. And he's like, look at this picture. I remember it. Forgets these faces right next to his face right next to the microphone. You hear him just like giggling the whole fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we got to have the picture back. And then his lawyer takes it away from him. He's like, I'm not done looking at that. Grabs it back.
I'm going to have to go back because I know, I remember Red Panda Koala, friend of the show. We love Red. Posted a video where it was like a animated version of that, but I'm gonna have to go back and look at it because I don't remember that. But then again, it was 9 hours of depositions. So, no, it's just 9 hours.
He was saying Red Panda was friend of the Clintons. I was like, oh, Jesus, is he in the files? He's not in the files, folks.
No. He made an AI video of Bill. It's like a cartoon of Bill like grabbing the paperback and trying to look at it again. It was pretty funny. That's good. Pretty humorous.
Good. I'm gonna have to look at it.
Okay, so I know you missed the current updates. So I'm going to replay that while I step away for just a moment. I don't think you're able to like have any controls. Can you press play anywhere on any of this stuff that you see?
No, they won't let me, dude. They won't let me.
They won't let you? Okay.
All right. Well, you know that I am not even have 1/3 the responsibility needed.
Yeah, I probably have to get the plan that costs 3 times more or something. Okay, so I'm going to step away for just a minute. This is about 5 minutes or so of just Epstein updates just in the last week. I'll be right back.
Development in the ongoing Epstein scandal. NPR reporting that DOJ, quote, withheld and removed some Epstein files related to Trump, allegedly hiding those docs, which, depending on the details we get, could be against the law. The missing files include over 50 pages of FBI interviews, notes from conversations.
What? The DOJ withheld Epstein files about Donald Trump? Hold on. I've been practicing my surprise face. You guys ready? What?
A very rare and stunning rebuke of the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, by members of the president's own party. Yes, 5 Republicans on the key House Oversight Committee defying their chairman and joining with Democrats to subpoena Bondi over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case.
That's right. They subpoenaed Pam Bondi. Maybe she'll throw another one of her tantrums, like a passenger getting kicked off a plane for being too drunk before takeoff. Remember, this is how she reacted last time she had to testify before Congress.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein, President Trump, the greatest president in American history. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
Tonight, the stock market plunging, the Dow plunging more than 1,200 points today, the NASDAQ dropping 232 points, the S&P 500 down 2.
Why are you talking about the stock market?
Speaker, I rise today to chat about what I've been doing at the Department of Justice. Many members have been going to the Department of Justice to view the Epstein files unredacted. Americans are tired of the corruption. They're tired of a tiered justice system where, depending on how big your bank account is and how connected you are, will have a direct outcome or will directly impact the outcome of your case. Here, I wanted today to come to the floor to share some of the files that people online have asked me to look into. The first one was this file that talked about a torture video. This right here is an email. The email belongs to Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem.
So I forgot this guy's name already, but I think I like him.
Did you know somewhere in the hills outside Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. Down here, they're arranging for a Bitcoin to be sent to a wallet address. I'm actually going to read that address out loud. Had to do
Didn't we
with
see
the Federal Bureau of Investigation
photograph
of
Prince Andrew
this is still
leaning
redacted,
over what
even
looked
when
like an
I went into
unconscious
the
girl?
DOJ and clicked.
I think we did. I think I remember that
did.
happening.
I
Yeah,
wonder if
that's
those
crazy,
have
right?
anything to do with each other.
Oh, Tracy, you're so nice. Bless you. We just love having you here. So we're happy you're here. But thank you so much. That helps with our research and stuff like that. So thank you very much.
Every $5, by the way. The rules are, I hear, that you have to remove an article of clothing. So good luck. I'm only wearing my claws right now, so. But I've already joined the party.
Talking that talk, buddy. You better get that video going. I think I can. I wonder if I can just turn it on without your permission.
Oh, geez. He's hacking.
I have to say this. I was watching the Thomas Fessler episode where PsyOp Anime busted in, like hacked into his live show. And like, I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh no, that sounds hysterical.
During a Thomas Fessler live stream, you hear this "Pew PsyOp Anime," and he like replaces all the graphics in his space. He's like PsyOp, and Thomas Fessler just like losing his shit trying to turn it off. And I was just laughing. I was like, dude, if that happened to me, that's like
awesome.
when you know you made it. So
but
yeah,
it's good. We're doing the pranking. It's fun.
Yes, if that ever happens here, I will be celebrating.
I'm going to turn my camera on for like 3 seconds. You're going to see my new hat.
What? Let's see it.
Let me see.
We're going to see Flak's face, gentlemen.
No,
ladies,
I'm taking my. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you know?
The Mighty
do you know
Ducks?
what that is? Yes, that is the Mighty Ducks.
Is that the pro team or the Disney team?
It's the pro team, dude.
Named after the Disney team?
Yeah, of course. Come on now. Come on. You can't get away from it. Disney would murder everyone on that team personally. He would come back and he would murder them allegedly, folks.
Allegedly. Entertainment. That's right. Okay, so as I was saying, I can't remember this cat's name. I'm going to have to learn it because I do think I like this guy. He came out on the floor and he's like, so since we have access to the redacted stuff, I just went down and printed up the things I got the most requests for that were redacted, and I'm just entering them into the Senate floor. And what's crazy though is that look at that file right there. That's the unredacted version of the file.
Oh, look at those unredactions. You can tell because
look at all that information.
Highlighted them in black.
Yes, look at all that fantastic information there.
The button to unredacted, it was still redacted. I was told they received it this way. A diary of drawings and collages. Something that could definitely give us some more information that could be useful. This is also still redacted. There are many pages from the diary all redacted. Of course, we need to keep the victims' names from being made public, but Congress has a right to investigate this important information.
Overnight, new documents released, including allegations against President Trump. Jay O'Brien has that story. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning to you, George. Overnight, under pressure from lawmakers who said it failed to release all Epstein-related files, the Department of Justice quietly posted 3 previously withheld FBI interview reports from 2019. Those reports contain uncorroborated allegations made against President Trump. Those files were initially missing from the more than 3 million pages of Epstein records released by the DOJ in January and were flagged by Democratic lawmakers who accused the department of holding them back to protect the president. The DOJ says they were mistakenly coded as duplicates. That's why they weren't released. According to these newly released reports, the FBI interviewed a woman about Jeffrey Epstein 4 times back in 2019. In a follow-up FBI interview, the woman did not provide additional details about the alleged interactions with Trump when she was asked by investigators. Last month, the Justice Department said that some of the documents released in the Epstein files, quote, contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. But the DOJ is still facing questions about why these and other documents were withheld in the first place.
I'm sorry.
It's for the victims, folks. It's for the victims. Even though all their names are fucking out there, it's for the victims, clearly.
It's so frustrating, man. Like, they're just shitting on the whole thing. And, like, what's funny is these guys will sit up there and act like holier than thou. Like, look at Comer's face. You gonna tell me you didn't enable these people, Comer, in your time at the Senate or in the House?
Well, everyone complaining 2 weeks ago now who didn't want the slush fund to be outed they're all just as complicit, in my opinion.
Yeah, so this is Comer, and even though Comer told this oversight committee on the Epstein files, and he's the leader, I don't know what they call the leader of that group or whatever, but he's the leader of that
great
investigation.
Gestalter.
Right.
The great Stinkerstein.
Man, the great poopy pants. But anyway, even though he's like in charge of that investigation or whatever, and he said we don't need to subpoena Pam Bondi, Republicans actually voted with Democrats, and now they got Pam Bondi subpoenaed. And so now
Boom. Got her.
This is Comer acting like it was his idea all along.
Certainly interested in getting a briefing from the Attorney General.
A rare show
Certainly interested in getting a briefing from the Attorney General, even though you told everybody not to do it.
of bipartisanship on Capitol Hill as lawmakers push for more transparency in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein.
It's about transparency. It has nothing to do with being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about going after predators.
The House Oversight Committee voting to subpoena Attorney General Pam
Yesterday,
Bondi.
Attorney General Pam Bondi was subpoenaed. The Epstein files, as you know, have made global headlines recently, from Prince Andrew's arrest to closed-door depositions.
It starts in December 2013 when Nili Barak, wife of former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, emailed Epstein. Quote, Ehud has a lecture in Tampa. We thought to arrive on the 22nd and enjoy your company and go to Tampa on the 26th morning. According to this article in the Jewish Press of Tampa Bay, Barak was scheduled to be the featured speaker at the Jewish Community Center's annual President's Day dinner. Records show the former prime minister and his wife spent days at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion.
Tell me again, when was Jeffrey Epstein prosecuted in Florida?
I think it was like 2004.
2004.
Maybe a bit later.
So that was 2013. The prime minister of fucking Israel and his wife were staying at his house. It's not weird.
Oh, you know what? It might have been 2008. They were. I know they started investigating him.
Okay.
Bit
So
earlier.
even closer to the event happening. So 5 years after being found guilty, and if you read between, even though he was only found guilty of like the lowest fucking shit, he should have been found guilty of way more. He was still a known pedophile. There's no way the prime minister of Israel didn't know this was going on.
Well, of course, Israel has better than our intelligence. They have one of the most robust fucking intelligence networks in the universe.
Clearly.
And he didn't know this. He didn't know this, you know. But that's like the same thing with the Clintons, right? Like they want to play this game of like, we didn't know how. What am I supposed to personally investigate everybody in my orbit? Well, if you have state secrets, you 100% should have an entire staff of people going through every single person in your orbit, unless you're a total bullshit artist and you don't care about this country's national security. You know, all my rights need to be always. They always take our rights away for national security, though. Like that's kind of what annoys me. Is they'll use that, and then when we go, oh, national security, you should take things seriously, and then they go, oh, who, me? What, a lowly old me? Oh, definitely not me. Lady, your entire server, private server systems that were in your bathroom and everything, who the fuck knows who that went out to? You bleached it, and we still found 300,000 emails plus.
Right. So another weird word, cream cheese. Have you looked into that one at all?
Yeah, that's a strange one too. I don't think it's cream cheese, but he is Jewish, and as a double Jewish individual myself, I can tell you they do enjoy a bit of cream cheese.
You do like the bagels?
On a little bit of a bagel, or maybe a bialy. You get it on a bialy with a little bit of lox. Is beautiful.
Listen, I'm 2% Jewish, and I love cream cheese. So, and I only found that out because I did the DNA thing, and I found out I'm 2% Jewish. So
there
you go.
I'm double Jewish because both of my mothers on my mother's side are Jewish. So it's I think how it works out.
That is how it works, I think. Okay, so here's some more terrible
An
Jeffrey
FBI
Epstein
memo
updates.
to Tampa agents announced they'd travel to Florida to interview roughly 25 victims.
25. So the FBI goes down to Tampa to interview 25 victims. Not like 2 or 6.
And Maria and
5.
Maria and Virginia, I believe Maria Farmer was like 96. Virginia was in like 98. He was like super early, right? So some of these victims go back like 20, 25 years at this point. Like in 2019. No, they reversed that for this case, I believe.
So yes, and one of the last news updates addresses that a little bit because these recent documents that they literally just released a couple days ago that implicate Trump, I think now 4 times in this one assault. Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking when you hear what that victim has to say to the FBI. I think it's like coming on the next story, I think.
Most were in South Florida, but one was in Palm Harbor within the Tampa field offices area.
I might dip out unexpectedly just because my battery is about to die.
Flak Magnet.
Listen, I'm lucky I remembered my pants today.
All right, well, if it fails, are you coming back if it fails?
Yeah, it may take me like a little bit of time to like source out where the hell my charger is and whatnot. But
yeah,
well, I will try to pop back in.
I got some stuff ready on Adam Perry Lang, who is the chef. He's actually got quite a few YouTube videos out there because he's just kind of popular, super hot chef for a while.
He also got Jimmy Kimmel in quite a bit of bullshit because of this, because Jimmy Kimmel didn't really show up in the files too much, but he's like best damn friends with Adam Perry Lang. And when people first found out that, because it was known since like 2019 that Lang was Epstein's, like, and I believe it was his island chef. Because like I said, he had multiple properties. He would have multiple chefs. He had a fucking beef jerky guy. So this is not out of the realm of possibility. But he was in I believe, the island. And people were hammering Jimmy Kimmel about it because they wanted to know what the fuck happened on that island back in 2019. So, yeah, there is that little asterisk in Kimmel's career now because of his proximity to Lang.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. There's so many. And that just points me back to intelligence. He was some kind of intelligence asset or multiple intelligence agencies asset that would just like collect all the shit he could on the dirty people, and then on the clean people, at least try to maintain contact if they were powerful enough, right? Like try to keep him in his orbit to help give him credibility. So I think that's definitely a part of it too. But yeah, just this is wild.
Barack was scheduled to be the featured speaker at the Jewish community in the Tampa field offices area.
According to victims attorney Spencer Kuvan, these 2019 notes from the Epstein files were probably taken by an FBI investigator looking into Jeffrey Epstein's past, hoping to bring charges.
I was really kind of flabbergasted. When I saw what you found dating back to 2001, I was astounded at the fact that the police didn't even put 2 and 2 together back then.
Palm Beach police did investigate. Here's the 2001 police report showing they conducted surveillance, interviewed 3 girls working for Epstein, even dug through Epstein's trash, still concluding there wasn't enough evidence for an arrest. But this later interview in 2019 reveals either the students didn't tell everything at first or the investigation didn't go far enough. Mom called the university and said something was wrong. School said, no, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
According to the police report, 3 PBAU students working at the house told detectives Epstein and Maxwell were weird, but said nothing illegal happened, so the case was filed away.
But what shocked me about this was all of this predated.
Being weird is not a crime.
The original investigation.
It's not. As much as my parents want to get me arrested for being weird, they can't do shit about it, folks. Not weird like these people, but being weird is not a crime. Sadly, my parents disagree.
I have a feeling though these girls were told to say that.
And charges.
Simone, we have already seen an initial interview with this same alleged victim and accuser of both Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in the files. 3 additional Form 302s reflecting 3 additional interviews of this same woman, culminating in an October 2019 interview where, as Alicia just said, she tells the FBI that she is aware that because of when she alleges her abuse occurred, and specifically because it was in the 1980s, and we're now talking to her in 2019, she tells the
1980s
agents that she's aware the statutes of limitation of any viable federal violation may have
I'll be
run.
back. It's about to die.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in a few.
What's the point? Knew that this woman had allegations about Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, who she says she met when she was a teenager, and that both of them sexually abused her. What we didn't know is how it ended. And now we're seeing that the way that it likely ended is that the woman refused to cooperate with federal law enforcement authorities. She said that she understood that Trump was the president. She had contact with him when she was a minor, and when she was asked if she was comfortable detailing it, she just again reiterated, what would be the point of providing this information at this point in my life?
Yeah, just so fucking frustrating. Happened in the 80s. This was like her 3rd or 4th meeting with somebody from the FBI. And now Trump is president. And it's been 40 years. And she's like, what's the point? What's the point? It's just gonna cause me all kinds of grief. And the president's still gonna be the president, and I'm still gonna be just this person that's gonna get targeted, hated on, harassed, victimized on top of being a victim for just saying, hey, when I was a little girl, these guys did some fucked up shit to me. And if it was just like that one person, okay. But how many of them does it have to be before we go, wait a minute? And that's why I come to this conclusion that, oh my God, could Jeffrey Epstein and these people be talking about eating people when they eat jerky? I gotta be honest. My opinion leans more towards the weird ritual occult shit because of the way the timing is with the trying to gather it in time for these events. And I think there were certain people at these events that believed ingesting another person gives you some kind of power or access, or it's part of a ritual. I think that's 100% out there. Now, 2-3 years ago, I might have said something totally different. I might have said, that's crazy. There's no way. There's just no way. They're talking about cocaine or something, right? They're talking about some kind of drug. They're not talking about that. But then you find out there's that. There's the propensity for ordering pizza from all these rich people. I've never seen a rich person at like a Domino's that I know of. There's cream cheese. There's other things too that we're going to dive into and try to make sense of. But now, after this research and after seeing the things that these people are capable of doing, it's hard to not believe the worst case scenario at this point. And there's a saying that investigators and detectives have when they're investigating a case. And you probably heard it before. And that is, there's no such thing as a coincidence. And that's not meant in like 100% literal form. But when you're investigating a crime or you're investigating a potential crime, coincidences typically are not a thing. Meaning it's no coincidence that the first thing that comes to people's minds after reading all these emails is that they are eating people. And then the chef worked at a restaurant called Cannibal, y'all. Like, you can't make this shit up. It's just coincidence, though. It's just coincidence. Nope. No, it's not. Either the Matrix is based, like, coming off of the wheels and breaking, or this is definitely not a coincidence. So the chef, this is a story from ABC News 13 years ago. And this is about Chef Adam Perry Lang, who is the gentleman that talks of Jerky a lot with Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm going to get this pulled up so we can take a look at it. There we go. Okay. So just about 3.5 minutes. Let's take a look at this.
Well, folks, this is it, the end of summer. So with that, the last days of the summer barbecue season. So we're sending you off into Labor Day weekend with some how-tos from a man who takes his grill very seriously, preeminent barbecue master and owner of Daisy Mae's Barbecue right here in New York City. Adam Perry Lang is tonight's plate list.
One of the reasons why I think I love butchering and meat so much is not because I like to cut up animals, but my mother would take me to this butcher shop on Willis Avenue in Long Island. And every time I walk in, they'd give me a little slice of bologna. And it was just a magical place that just seemed right. First thing you do is you break up some herbs. In this case, it's marjoram, some onion powder, garlic salt, some black pepper. You take some olive oil, and then you put the chops in. And you really just kind of work it in. Let it sit there for like 2 hours.
Just
Don't
work
sweat
it
the
in.
flames. Flames happen. These look beautiful. You've got a lot of flavor on these babies. Take the lamb chops. You should hear a sizzle. Another trick that I do is I take a brick, but just wrap it with foil, place it right on top. It's going to create more pressure on top of the lamb. I take a bundle of herbs, any herbs, savory herbs, sage, rosemary, and a little bit of oregano and marjoram. And this way I just kind of baste the lamb. The next thing I do is I create what's called a board dressing. I take a little salt and a garlic clove, and I use it as an abrasive, and I just kind of work it into the cutting board. Lemon zest, a little bit of lemon juice, chopped red onion or shallots, add some more olive oil. You just want to cut some fresh herbs into it, Italian flat leaf parsley. And then what you do is you take the lamb, it's still sizzling, put it right into that. You are good to go. This is an amazing recipe. Guaranteed success. Sunday morning breakfast. It was a ritual. I would get up with my father. We would go to a place called La Patisserie, which is on the Miracle Mile. And it was a little French place, and we would get eclairs, and it was exotic. It was really like a time when the family got together, and it just was special. I'm gonna make a compound butter or flavored butter. Start with lemon zest, some chopped garlic, some dill. Just rough chop this. This is all about the flavor.
Just rough chop it. It's all about the flavor. So Trace, you know what? I didn't even realize I responded to your comment, but I didn't read it. It said, thank you, Gabriel, Flak, and Psionic. You have me laughing, and that means a lot. And God bless all that watch this. Thank you so much, Tracy. Amazing. We love you here. Okay, so that was this guy 13 years ago. And I'm pretty sure there's some more up-to-date stuff. Let's see. Okay, yes. Yeah, so this is actually another one from him about 13 years ago. What's interesting is this website that the cannibal restaurant was on, apparently they have like locked the page, their website page. So you can't go to the cannibal restaurant website and see what they had on their menu. From what I understand, though, there was some kind of weird, I don't know, they were probably, defense was, oh, we were just having fun with the name. But apparently there was some items on the menu that kind of referenced like cannibalism. So super, super strange. You wonder, like, how much would it take if you're like a really good chef? How long would it take for, how much would it take for someone to be like, you know what? Come work for me exclusively. I will pay you more money than you've ever made in your entire life, more money than you know what to do with. But there's a little catch. I don't need you to butcher me deer. I need you to butcher me something else. I don't know. Okay, this is from JRE Clips, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but Adam Perry was actually a guest on that show. So we're going to share that here. This is Adam Perry, and this was about 5 years ago. He was on the Rogan show. And you know, it's funny, like, I think I remember checking this one out because I thought it was weird that people age their steaks. So this is Joe Rogan and the Adam Perry guy 5 years ago on the Rogan show.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I found out about your restaurant online. I was just Googling new places to go for dinner. And I don't know, it's like maybe a couple years ago. And I was Googling steakhouses, and then I saw that you specialize in dry aged steaks. And I had a steak that you cooked once that was more than a year. Dry aged was just so, it was delicious, but it was really weird. I mean,
it's weird.
It doesn't
it's
taste
different.
Anything like a regular steak. It tastes like, boy, it's like a different animal. It's like you're eating something, you know, some exotic animal.
And that's what I like to do. I mean, you know, more age doesn't necessarily mean better, but, you know, it's.
Okay, so like Joe Rogan is a hunter. He's big into elk. He's got a lot of money. And he's tried all kinds of different dishes. So for him to say that meat, there was something different about it. He's like, well, yeah, it just sat out for a year. You sat your meat out for a year? That's weird, y'all. Come on, who sits their meat out for a year? That's crazy.
It's just different. And that's, for me as a chef, I call my dry age room an environmental chamber.
I think there's a picture on Instagram of me and Adam in the basement, that fucking
meat locker,
weird meat room that you've got. And it's for people that have never been to a dry aging room, it's very odd. There's fans blowing around. Everything's a very specific temperature. You got all these different things labeled as far as like what date it was put in there. And for people who haven't seen dry aging, it's very odd too, because you're like, hey, what is wrong with that meat?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the outside crust of it. You got here's a photo of it, folks. You can see it in the background of the. It's not working. We got a technical. There it is. So, for folks who can see it in the background, the meat has like a black crust to it, and then you slice that crust off. What do you do with the crust?
Get rid of it.
But is it edible?
It's not enjoyable.
What about for dogs?
I wouldn't give something a dog I wouldn't eat myself.
Wow. You would eat dog food?
What's that?
Do you eat dog food?
No.
But you feed your dog food?
I don't have a dog. I wish I did, to be honest with you.
I have a dog, and he eats dog food.
Yeah.
I love him to death. But he actually eats ground elk, but mixed in with regular dog food.
Even that, it gets a white ash, which is almost like I call it there's a friendly oxidation, I referred to it in the whole process, okay?
Is that white ash like the same as you get on outside of salami?
It's like that. It's part of it. It's a mold. And the whole concept behind dry aging, it's based on three things. It's air velocity, temperature, and humidity.
I think it's weird. This is one of the most boring Joe Rogan podcasts I've ever laid my eyes on, right? In fact, I think I got stuck listening to it because we were on a road trip 5 years ago and I downloaded it and we were in the hills. So we kind of were stuck listening to it. But this is extremely boring. But I'm fascinated with the mannerisms of this gentleman now, knowing what may have happened. It's like, it's like going back and watching Bundy tapes. You're like, God, he seems so, I don't know, not insane, but the whole time ticking time bomb. And I'm not saying that's what this guy is, but if Jerky turns out to be human meat, then we're looking at all this through a new pair of lenses.
Air velocity.
Yes. And it's really important. I like to, when I teach people about dry aging, it's like if you were on a beach in Jamaica and there was no wind and you just start getting sweat and you're just uncomfortable. But then if trade winds went through, it would have, at the same temperature, it would evaporate the water off your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to, at the right ratio, evaporate the water off the surface so it doesn't get like a smelly, stinky, bad mold. And dehydrate it slowly. What it does is it concentrates the flavor. It transforms the amino acids into a whole different compound and changes the flavor altogether. And then also enzymes within the meat through the process of rigor mortis. It breaks down so it becomes more tender. So you get flavor enhancement, you get tenderization, and it just blows it away.
So what does it do to the amino acids?
It transforms it into a whole nother compound. It's like a flavor. It's like when we talk, have you ever heard of concept of Maillard reaction?
Yes, but I don't know what it means anime. I've heard the expression, but I forgot what it means.
Yeah, the Maillard reaction is basically like when you're cooking something, what ends up happening.
Spell it?
God, I'm the worst speller.
Is it Maillard?
No, Maillard.
Right,
okay.
Maillard. Okay,
Maillard. Okay, I said Maillard. Okay, yeah. That's what I know as. So, whenever you're browning or you're doing different things at different rates, amino acids transform into different things, and you get different flavor compounds, and that's really what happens, with meat. So if I dry age, you have to handle dry age meat a lot differently. You can't go out and say, okay, I'm going to slow cook this once it's dry age, because then it develops a really nasty kind of funky flavor. But if you cook it under high heat, really aggressive, That's why you have steakhouse broilers. There's something about that browning of that dry aged meat that transforms, that just like awakens your senses. You know?
That's
Oh boy. Well, this man is certainly passionate about his steaks. Oh, how creepy, right? Like if it turns out that what we've been talking about tonight, if it turns out that that's how it is, then oh God. And I bet Joe Rogan is going crazy. Because you know how many people he's had on his show in those Epstein files? So many. You'd have to like reevaluate everything, wouldn't you? God, were these people lying to me the whole time? Did I really sit across from a guy that is just beyond reproach, beyond saving, beyond any kind of life preserver I would want to throw him? It's nuts. That's the ultimate question, right? What is the jerky? Because I'll tell you, I don't think it's jerky. I think it's something else. Now, what that something else is, I don't feel as confident in my guess as I do knowing that it's definitely not jerky. They're not talking about jerky. There's just no way. So it's either going to be drugs, maybe some other type of illegal activity, or meat that is not legal to consume in these United States. For very, very good reasons. And we heard on the update email, another part of the file that came out, that congressman brought in the unredacted part that said out there at Zorro Ranch, there was 2 murders by Maxwell and Epstein. That they strangled and killed these 2 girls while doing their thing, their rough play or whatever, right? There's 2 bodies out there. But like, you don't see them out there digging. Kind of weird, y'all. Kind of strange. And the worst part is, like, for me, Trump knew those files were going to come out from the DOJ. I mean, I guarantee you Bondi tells him everything. So Trump knew the DOJ was going to release those files. And literally like a day or 2 before they release those files, we're at war. Or they don't call it a war, even though they do call it a war. But it's not a war, but it is a war. But it's not a war, but it is. And I'm supposed to believe that's not a distraction? Like you're risking our soldiers' lives for a distraction? If you have any kind of sense of history, what's been going on in the last 30, 40, 50 years? Oil tycoons have been trying to push us into attacking Iran. Israel has been trying to push us into attacking Iran. Decade after decade after decade after decade. This guy pulls the trigger. And could it be to try to change the news story? Could we be risking American lives, and God bless them, we have already lost soldiers in this war that they refuse to call a war. Because Trump wants to change the headline. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's worked. People don't want you to talk about this Epstein anymore. They want you to talk about the war. It's just a distraction. I don't think it's a distraction for those victims. Pretty sure it wasn't a distraction for them. And yeah, I got a dog in the fight. Fuck this guy. Fuck all these people. I think I've said that every episode now. But if we are risking lives to change the story, I mean, look, this is a brief update just in the last 12 hours of what's been going on in the Middle East.
Now, as we get to the latest on the situation developing there in the Middle East, we do have a look right here at some of this video I showed you a bit earlier coming in from the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, as they say they carried out a wave of strikes that started overnight targeting the sites in Tehran that are crucial to Iran's ballistic missile deployment and storage. The Israeli Defense Forces saying that they struck Iranian operations who were preparing a missile launcher to be used against the Israeli aircraft in the area, preventing a launch overall. And of course, we're looking at some of the video there coming in live out of Beirut, but you saw what's been released by the IDF. And I wanted to get your take on the IRGC claiming now that they have fired these missiles that have 1-ton warheads.
So Josh, as we're now into day 6 of the fighting, it appears that Iran, through the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, still has either ballistic missiles or weapons that they haven't yet used against all the countries they've attacked so far. And the claim about having what I would assume is a ballistic missile with a 1-ton warhead, that suggests that in that warhead, it had a 2,000-pound explosive payload. And so we don't know whether that missile actually worked, in the sense of, did the missile get through all the Israeli missile defense systems? And if it did, when it made impact.
The IDF, the Israel Defense.
Rewound on accident. I'm sorry, El. So what he's saying there is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard just informed them that they have a 1-ton missile. And the guy kind of says, okay, but if they had a 1-ton missile, it'd be like this huge missile that, it'd probably get knocked out of the sky anyway. And I think we found out a 1-ton missile from Iran isn't necessarily a 1-ton missile, as it breaks up into tens, if not hundreds, of smaller munitions that come down and cause explosions all over, and there's literally no kind of safety net. The Golden Dome couldn't stop those types of munitions, and we'll look at it here in just a second. I'm going to make it full screen just so you can kind of see the detail of how absolutely crazy this is. Where Tel Aviv, 2 of their Golden Dome strike stations where they launched their defenses, got taken out by Iranian hypersonic missiles.
That in that warhead, it had a 2,000-pound explosive payload. And so we don't know whether that missile actually worked, in the sense of, did the missile get through all the Israeli missile defense systems? And if it did, when it made impact, did that 1-ton warhead actually detonate against the target it was aiming at? So we don't yet know. And if it did, that would have caused a significant amount of destruction, unless
זה היציאה, עדי. וואי, זה נראה כמו זיקוקים.
Brutal, right? And that's just last evening in Tel Aviv. Just another day. I didn't want to go crazy just showing clip after clip, but this is war. And when you hear that our commanders are telling our soldiers this is a holy war, and then you get the video of them in the White House praying. Look, I'm not anti-praying. Praying's great. It's a great practice. But everything is done at that level as a sign. So when we go to war in the Middle East with Iran, and we are traditionally like a Judeo-Christian Western nation that's an ally of Israel, it's stupid. Iran has, I think, almost 100 million citizens. Iran ran out of bullets when they were fighting a war against Iraq, and they just started sending soldiers without weapons to the front lines to fight this war. Yet guys trying to fight wars with sticks and bayonets, they will fight. It doesn't matter how strong we are. And sure, we would probably win, but at what cost? So President Perv can get out of some charges that he probably would never go to jail for anyway. I don't like it when you start fucking with people's lives. And people die for stupid ass political reasons. I don't want to be involved in your fucking holy war. And I believe in Christ. I want nothing to do with your fucking war. Soldier comes home from this war and he's hurt. Needs a place to stay. Needs some help. I'm the guy. But this is dumb. Dumb. All right, y'all. Well, we've gone for about 3 hours. Not a bad show. I think we have covered Jerky pretty well and the different things it could be. I think it's fair to say we both kind of landed on it being either a drug or the other really terrible thing. And either way, I wouldn't be surprised, but it most certainly is not beef jerky that they're talking about. And you have to take my word for it. Go do the research. J-Mail. Go check it out. It's all out there for you to find. The Department of Justice website. It's all out there for you to see plain as day. Read those emails. Read that data. And you tell me and Flak are crazy. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. So we've been kicking around a few ideas for our next Epstein episode, and with everything that's kind of come to light, I think a good idea for our next episode, I haven't pitched this to Flak yet, so I think a good idea for our next episode would be this Russia connection, because we're hearing that the, quote unquote Russian collusion story that came out when Trump was running for office, that wasn't really the Russian story. What was really the Russian story was Kushner and his connections behind the scenes. Then you have Epstein involvement. So I think that will be an interesting episode. May or may not be our next Epstein episode that comes out. I'll have to get with Flak. He must be still out of power. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Do all those things that help the algo. We really, really appreciate it. Thanks for choosing us to get your information from, to hang out with for a while. Tracy, Psionic, we love y'all. We love your comments. Thank you so much. And everyone else, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll see you next time on the Gabriel Speaks Podcast.